Good morning, Bhaiya. Good morning, ma'am. Am I audible?
Yeah, I was on mute. I can hear
Yeah.
you.
Okay. Great.
Let me just see if I can share my presentation. I'll just test
Yes, I
that.
have made you a presenter. You should be able
Okay.
to.
Okay. Can you see?
Yeah, presentation is visible to us.
Okay. Okay. Perfect.
Ma'am, just to let you know, the session will be recorded. We will share it with you, and if you have any feedback, that can be it can be changed, and then we will upload it on YouTube.
Okay. Okay. No problem.
Good morning, Bidisha. How are you?
Hi, Nitish. Good morning.
Working from office?
Who, me?
ऑफिस से हाँ ऑफिस से ज्वाइन कर रहे हो?
No. I'm I'm joining from my home only, but I'm using my office headset and laptop.
Okay. Actually, it's good to have you. कोई difficulties तो नहीं हुई ना?
No difficulties as of now. I think the Q&A session, if you you can record the main session, Q&A में I think it's okay to not record it.
Okay, you can वो हम उसको we will edit it afterwards.
Okay,
Yes.
okay, no
So
problem.
we will
No
share with
problem.
you.
Okay. Because generally those are like personal questions of people. That's why I was saying. Otherwise, it's okay. No problem.
Sometimes good insights come out in those questions. So we will see. How it is.
Hmm.
Your presentation is visible.
Yeah, I've shared it. So good. That was my only concern, that there should not be any issue with the presentation. I just made it very last moment. So let's see.
No worries. So, we'll wait till 10:05.
No problem. No problem. Let people join.
Mustafa,
No issues.
Yes, Bhaiya.
okay. I think we will start the session. Meanwhile, will keep on joining, and
Sure, no problem.
let's start the session. So, uh, if the recording is being done right now, yeah, it's already being recorded. So, good morning, everyone. I welcome Bidisha Pandey, who is a Commonwealth scholar, ex-Indian Navy, and currently working in Australia, Director Trade and Investment. And she has done her master's in University College London in 2021 and 2022 with help of the prestigious Commonwealth Shared Scholarship. And it's today, as part of our program, IIST Alumni Association Advanced, where we bring sessions for higher studies and transition in career sessions. So Bidisha will be today our guest speaker. We warmly welcome you, Bidisha, and please share us your journey. And we are looking forward to this session.
Thank you so much, Nitish Shriman. And I think I'm very happy to be here today. And Nitish has been a part of the journey as well because he was in the same year in London as I was. And I think we share very fond memories from that place, exploring UK and several other things. We made very good friends. And yes, probably to begin with, he has already introduced me, so I'm not going to reintroduce myself. I'll take 5 minutes to just share about my journey. And after that, I'll get on to the topic of the day, which is Commonwealth Shared Scholarship. So I just wanted to start with the fact that Commonwealth Scholarship was not just a scholarship for me. As you can see on the slide, it was actually a career transition journey for me. I joined the Navy in 2011, July 2011, and that was right after my engineering. And I joined in the logistics branch, which is under the executive cadre. We usually look after the procurement and supply chain of machinery and spare parts for ships, submarines, aircrafts. So that was the role in the Navy, and along with, of course, admin work and a lot of adventure activities, which armed forces are known for. That happened for 10 years. And because it was a short service commission entry, I had an option to extend it for another 4 years. But I decided to make the switch right after 10 years because I think it is easier to switch domains at a younger age. So after that, I applied for the Commonwealth Scholarship and luckily got the scholarship, went to UCL, which is one of the top 10 universities in the world. The course that I opted for was Masters in Prosperity, Innovation, and Entrepreneurship. And it was a gem of a course because it was a mix of social entrepreneurship, business, as well as social issues. And I did not want to do something which is purely business or purely social. I wanted to do something which was a mix of both so that it can help me in my next career. And then I made the perfect transition because the course got over somewhere in September 22. And September 22 is when it started, sorry. And sorry, September 21 was when it started. September 22 is when it got over. And then I joined Austrade. So right now I am working at Austrade, which is under the Australian government. My office is at the Australian High Commission. And Austrade is mainly an international trade and investment organization. So what I do here is more of international trade policy. And the sectors, because of my background in defense, are aerospace, advanced manufacturing, and space. So as much as I loved my life in uniform, my current job is also amazing and it gives me a lot of opportunities. And I'm very happy that I'm speaking to IIST alumni here because space is also one of the sectors that I look after in my current role. And there's a lot happening between Australia and India at the moment. So recently developed a lot of interest in space. Um, this is more of a snapshot of how my life changed after the scholarship. So on the left is a photograph from the Navy when I'm with my course mates, and course mates are generally people who join at the same time. So all of us are commissioned in July 2011 batch. And at the right, you can see life at UCL, which is very, very different from what I had in Navy, because we had people coming in from a lot of countries, right from Indonesia to Mexico to Nigeria, a lot of other places. So it was a very good experience. Professionally, of course, UCL is a top university and the course was great. Everything was great. But personally, also, I made very good friends. I got insights into how things work in different parts of the world. And I think that diversity thinking to solve a global issue is very important. So, together with Navy and my experiences at UCL, I think I feel very enriched and I evolved a lot as a person when I was in UK. Now that I've given a brief introduction about myself, I think I'll just go over to the actual topic, which is Commonwealth Shared Scholarship. So I just wanted to clarify in the beginning, if you go on Google and sort of type Commonwealth Scholarship, you are going to get a list of websites. So what you need to do is go to the British Council website. And once you go there, there will be a list of Commonwealth scholarships. So under Commonwealth banner, there are a lot of Commonwealth scholarships. It can be Commonwealth Masters, it can be Commonwealth Shared, it can be Commonwealth Distance Learning, it can be Commonwealth PhD. So the scholarship that I'll be talking about is Commonwealth Shared. The reason why it is called Commonwealth Shared is because your tuition fee and the award money is being paid by both CSE and your university. And therefore, for Commonwealth Shared Scholarship, your nominating agency is your university. So you apply for the course, you also put in an application for the scholarship, but the nominating, the people who shortlist your application for the scholarship is your university in the end. And then it goes to the CSE commission, which is Commonwealth Scholarship Commission, and they take the final decision. Whereas if I talk about Commonwealth Masters Scholarship, the nominating agency is an Indian government agency. Like you would have to go through MHRD or some other route. So I'm not going to talk about Commonwealth Masters here because the process would be slightly different. However, the good thing is that I think the money, the value of the scholarship is the same for both because both cater to master's courses in UK. Also, the second thing is that both have the same application. So necessarily the essays that you write for a Commonwealth Shared Scholarship are the same essays which you will write for Commonwealth Masters Scholarship. But it will be evaluated by different agencies. Commonwealth Masters will be through an Indian nominating agency, which would most likely be MHRD or some other government agency which is there. And Commonwealth Shared, it will be evaluated by the university. And then the university selects on a whole university basis, and then they put it forward to the Commonwealth Scholarship Commission. The value. Now we come to what it entails. Like once you get the scholarship, what all will it cover? So this is simply a screenshot that I've taken from the British Council website because, sorry, I did not have that much of time. So I was just taking screenshots and adding so that I know what to speak. Here it generally covers, first is, of course, the airfare from your home country to UK. So that is one. The second is tuition fees. That is a complete tuition fee. And then stipend. The stipend written here may not be the updated stipend because it gets revised. So that you will be intimated about it when you get the scholarship. So if your university is in London, say you are in UCL or LSE or kind of Imperial, King's College, these are like central London colleges. So the stipend is slightly higher because the cost of living is also slightly higher in these places. Warm clothing allowance, of course, those £500 in the beginning. When you move, you'll get that. Any kind of grant, if as a part of your dissertation, because there is a certain amount of research work which tends to happen with every master's in UK. So the last 3 months is usually dissertation time. So any kind of travel that you need to undertake during that time, that also you can seek, like this is not a rule, but you can seek grant from the Commonwealth Scholarship Commission to assist you to do that research. And lastly, Commonwealth also has provision for people who are widowed, divorced, or who are single parents for their kids because they do understand that your kid will be living with you. So additional allowance for people who have dependents like kids and who are single parents. So this is generally what the scholarship covers. Sorry, I'm having a bit of a sore throat, so please bear with it. The next is eligibility. So with Commonwealth, the key thing is with Commonwealth Shared, rather, I would stick to Commonwealth Shared Scholarship because I got that one. The courses are listed. The courses for which you can apply for the scholarship are listed. So unlike, say, Evening Scholarship, so the first session was by Nitish, and if you would have attended that, in Evening, you can choose any 3 master's courses. Commonwealth doesn't work like that. CSE has its own 6 development themes, which you can see on the screen. So you have science and technology for development, you have strengthening health systems and capacity, global prosperity, global peace, resilience, access, inclusion, and opportunity. So when you go to the website, you will see a list of approved courses. So there is already a list of approved courses which is eligible for this scholarship under every category. So for you, probably if it is something related to space, you should look for the course under the science and technology for development theme. So once you click on the themes, you'll get to get the list of the universities and the courses. So it is only those courses which will be eligible for this scholarship. So beyond those courses, Commonwealth Scholarship is not eligible. So you have to be sure that the courses you are applying to are eligible for the Commonwealth Scholarship. In addition to that, you have to apply for both. Like this is similar to Evening that you need to apply for the course. Like say, I'll give you my example, like promoting global prosperity was the theme under which my master's was coming. So MSc Prosperity, Innovation and Entrepreneurship is the course, which is at UCL. That course is an eligible course under this category of Commonwealth Shared Scholarship. So I'll have to apply to UCL. I'll have to go to that course page and I need to fulfill the criteria required to apply to that particular master's. That is the first step. I have to apply for that master's before I apply for the scholarship. So I'll get an application number and that master's may have different criteria. Like here, there is a huge list of courses. But for every course, your graduation percentage will be different. Like for Oxford, it may be a different requirement. For Cambridge, it may be a different requirement. For some other university, it may be different. So that criteria CSE is not evaluating. That is individual university criteria. So for example, I've shortlisted the course. I've gone through the list. And then under promoting global prosperity, I found MSc Prosperity, Innovation and Entrepreneurship. That is a course which matches my aspirations and my future goals. So I decide to apply for that course. When I go to the page of that course, I'll check what is the eligibility criteria, what are the requirements in terms of graduation percentage, IELTS, TOEFL, whether there's an interview, what are the essays required, do I fulfill those criteria? Because there's no point applying for this scholarship if I'm not applying for the if I'm not eligible as per the criteria of the university or of the course. So the first step is go to the university page and check the criteria, see if you are making it, see if it is aligned with your goals and aspirations. You shouldn't be applying for a course just because it is eligible for Commonwealth Shared Scholarship. It should also be, at the end of the day, it has to help you to make that transition or grow in your journey or fulfill some kind of purpose in your professional journey. So you need to go through that. Also, sometimes what happens is that interestingly, like MPhil in Cambridge, I think was under science and technology. It is sort of a public policy course, but it was in the science and technology head. So probably go through all the courses, like just because probably science and technology would be more relatable. And if you just look at that one section and which courses are coming under that, I would just say go through all the courses. Maybe you will find a relatable course as in some other category, probably because that was there. Like public policy in Oxford was coming under some other head and public policy in Cambridge was under some other head. I don't know how have they decided which goes under what, but please go through all the courses. Probably a more relevant course may be under some other category and may still be eligible. So go through all of that. Now, coming to the scholarship application. Commonwealth scholarship application is a very lengthy application. It usually has 11 to 12 essays, which is, if you compare it to other scholarships, which may have 4 to 5. This has 11 to 12, which navigates deeply into what is your previous experience and what are your goals in future and how are you going to implement those goals? What are your personal experiences? A lot of the time it feels that it is very repetitive because a lot of the questions are interlinked. And it is okay to be repetitive. Like I'm clearing this in the beginning itself because the point of those 12 or 13 essays and so much of information is that it should be coherent. When I, as an examiner, am reading those essays, I shouldn't feel that one essay is projecting something else. Just because there are 11 essays, you don't have to give 11, 12, 13 different answers to every essay. Probably add on information, but it needs to be coherent. Also, your goals and ambitions should be bold, but at the same time, it should be practical, because Commonwealth, it will clearly ask you how much do you intend to achieve in 2 years, in 5 years. Like the impact measurement is very important to them. So generally, it has four parts. The first part, which we are talking about, is development issues at the global, national, and local level. So for this part, though it is not mentioned on the website, though it's not mentioned on the website, the first point is more of the SDGs, the Sustainable Development Goals. Now, we should not confuse the SDGs with the CSE themes. Like on this slide, these are the Commonwealth development themes. So this is different. And when we talk about SDGs or the Sustainable Development Goals, that is promulgated by UN. So for me, though they have not mentioned here, question 1 was more related to SDGs. In my application, it was written, how are the global issues related to SDGs? So for this particular essay, your course and its relevance to an SDG needs to be evaluated. So there are 17 SDGs there listed on the UN website. So once you go through them, you will relate 3 of them probably which might be relatable to your course. So for my case, economic growth was there, women empowerment was there. It was related to what kind of study that I was planning to do in my master's. So at the global level, national level, and local level. So you will have to explain how it relates to issues at global, national, local level. For global level, you will have to check the UN website, because from there you will get a clear idea of how things are progressing with respect to that SDG. If it is economic growth, what is happening, what are countries doing for economic growth, and how will your goal broadly be able to contribute to the cause. That is global. National is at India level. For us, of course, it is at India level. So again, regarding that SDG, what has India done so far? And how is your course related to that? How are you relevant to that cause? Local level is more at state, district level, at your own personal level. It can be at an organizational level, a district level, or society level. This is where your experience comes in. Probably this data will not be available anywhere, where you have to project that this is my area, this is my organization, this is the problem. This is where it can be solved using this course or using the skills that I developed during the course. Again, your answers need to be very tight knit, because there is a very strict word limit here. In everywhere, I think it's just 200 to 300 words, not a very long essay required. So you need to be very particular about how you use those words to cover all of this. It may seem that the words are too limited, but you'll have to structure your answers in that fashion. The second one is development issues connected to the chosen CSE development. Now, the second question comes to CSE development. So, of course, then whichever category that your course is in, and again, if you go to the Commonwealth website, you will find more about that head. What is CSE aiming to do under that head? Like, for example, if it's science and technology for development, you can go through it. What is CSE doing under that? As many as you can, you should read from the website as to what is being done, and then you basically relate your essay to that. So this would be for the CSE. That's the second one. The second part is, how do you intend to apply the new skills once the scholarship ends? So for just like in case of Evening in Commonwealth also, because it is a fully funded scholarship. So once the scholarship is over, you will have to return to your home country. So you sort of come back to India, and what do you do next after that? What are your plans? So that is the second part of it. Here also, I think it is better to be specific. What kind of skills? Like, it is best to not give vague answers, like I'll do so and so, this and that. It needs to be very practical. And as much as you can support your essays with figures and statistics, the better it is. So do that. Also, your previous experience should also be relevant. You should not be doing something which is totally unrelated to what you have spent your previous 5-6 years in. The third part is, again, expanding on the second part, because I told you that there are 12 to 13 essays, but they kind of want to bring out the essence should be the same throughout the essays. The coherence, the message, the story has to be the same. These are different chapters of the same story. So don't tell different stories in different essays. This third part is the outcomes that you achieve, the time frame, and the beneficiaries. So this kind of becomes very specific. Like, for example, if I am my entrepreneurship venture is aimed at women and uplifting of women who are veer naris, who are, say, deceased widows, of war veterans and other people. I know who the beneficiaries are, what is the time frame, and this would come out of experience. Like if you relate it to your previous, like you'll also have to give a justification of what that time frame is. Just saying that I'll achieve something in 3 years, how can you achieve it in 3 years? Again, some kinds of facts and figures which support that yes, I'll be able to do it in 2 to 3 years, right? This outcome will I'll be able to achieve because of so and so. So there has to be a practical justification to everything. The more practical and the more believable your essays are, the better it is. So this is part 3. When you go to the next one, now the fourth one is how the impact of the work can be best measured and evidence. So Commonwealth is a lot about impact measurement. Like, okay, you have set up a social entrepreneurship firm and then you have given employment to 100 women. And how do you evaluate it? Like in this case, it would be how many women have I impacted? How many women with their families are getting benefited out of it? Or for your case, it may be something else. It may not be it may be in numbers of something else, not just human beings. It may be quantified in some other, because you are coming from a science and tech domain, and I'm believing that you would do something which is more scientific. It is not with entrepreneurship. What the example that I am giving is for my course, like because it was entrepreneurship, so I had to say, okay, if I'm doing this, had I known that I would go into trade, probably my impact measurement would be in rupees or dollars or money, because I would say that okay, this much trade was there, I'm increasing the trade to so and so percentage. Or space trade, if there was nothing happening before, I would probably increase it to so and so percentage. So the thing here is also that probably you start out, when you write your application, you may have a different objective, because I had different plans. But once you enter the job, it may change, and that is okay, that is not a problem. But when you're writing the application, it has to be believable. It has to be something that you believe in, that this is why I'm doing the course and this is what I intend to get out of the course. Of course, after that, things are not in our hands. We apply for a variety of jobs. I would have gone into an social entrepreneurship firm. For all I know, that was what I had in my mind. But then this opportunity came up. It sort of aligned more with my previous experience. And now the impact is different. Like an impact in Austrade would be different as compared to impact in a social entrepreneurship firm. So you will have to describe what are your plans at the moment when you are applying for this scholarship, and how would you measure your success in that particular domain when you start to work after coming back to India. Now, applicants are also, these are other objectives. Again, these also might seem a bit repetitive. Like for 5 years, what are the plans? Long-term career plans is more than, I would say, 10 years and even beyond. For the long-term career plans, you can be a bit more ambitious. Like you need to show a trajectory that I'm going to do this, which will grow into that and then grow into this. So that trajectory needs to come out in your essays. Personal statement is a very important part, probably the longest essay, because the word limit is higher when you write the personal statement. It is called personal statement for a reason, because you need to associate your goals with personal experiences. And I think it makes your essay or makes your application a lot more impactful if you relate it to what you're doing or what you have experienced as a child, as in your family, what you have seen around, what motivated you, what inspired you, what are the hardships, if there are been any economic hurdles, and what was that about. So I think this is one area where you can actually go personal, deep diver into your own experiences. And I think this is also where you can make a lot of impact on the uh, person who's reading the essays, because this is genuinely from your, this is not from a UN website, this is not some SDG or personal, this is how you chose, how what personal experiences have shaped you to become who you are, and how has that influenced you to take up this course. Also, in all of this, I would like you to go through the course that you have selected. Basically, you have to go to the page of the course at the university page. I always thought that that was very important, because even in my case, when I went to UCL and when I went to the Masters in Prosperity, Innovation and Entrepreneurship, I would go through the whole details of what is being taught, who are the professors, what kind of dissertations are there. I went to the extent of actually contacting the professors who were to teach me, to see whether there is any alignment. Because the more research you do on what kind of course you're opting for, the more serious your application is. So if I quote that so and so professor from so and so course is going to be there as a course leader and going to be taking this selective, this module, and my ambition is this, And so this person specializes in this topic, and I want to learn about this topic, and that is how I want to go for the course. That just reflects the seriousness. So don't feel shy, and just write to the course director or anybody who's there and get more information about that, because that will help you in your essay. It just shows how much of effort you have put in to write that whole application. Once this is done, there are 3 referral letters which are required. And I kind of saw on the website that one of them has to be from your current employer. So in my case, because I had 10 years of work ex, because I was in the Navy for 10 years. So both of my, all 3, I would say, were from the Navy. All my 3 referral letters were from senior naval officers who I had worked under. But you can, if you've done studies which are, I think, 2 years, there is a certain limit, and I think the detailed information is there on the website. But you can also choose an academic person to write a referral letter for you, because they would then elaborate on your academic capacity, capability. That is also good. Like, I would choose one academic, one professional, and the third one can be a friend as well, because as far as I remember, there was this third referral letter which was supposed to be reflecting on your personal qualities. In my case, all the 3 were seniors, but you could choose it that way. And I did not have anyone from the academic background, because I had done my engineering 10 years ago. So there was no point getting in touch with a professor there, and then that professor writing about my present academic capability in 10 years. So what I was sticking to was all 3 from work, but you can choose between. If you've recently done a master's, recently done any kind of academic program, it would be good to have somebody who writes a reference letter on your academic capability, and then somebody from work, of course. And then the third person can be also a work colleague, not necessarily a senior, who can comment on your personal qualities. So I think that is it. When you start with the shared scholarship application, the timelines change a bit, because when I had applied, it was the COVID year, it was 21. So the timelines were a little skewed, because I applied for the UCL course somewhere in December. So I had the application number. And then I applied for the Commonwealth Shared Scholarship somewhere in February, March. And I had not got the decision on my UCL application till that time, but I had the application number. So I had applied for the shared scholarship, got the decision for UCL course admission letter somewhere mid-March. And then the confirmation for Commonwealth scholarship, this one came somewhere in June, July. So this got confirmed somewhere in June, July. So for me, the timeline was like that. But I feel the timelines have shifted a bit right now. So just constantly monitor the website. And also, if you want, you can write to the university. If you see a university which is eligible for Commonwealth Shared Scholarship, you can actually write to the program director that I am planning to apply for Commonwealth Shared Scholarship. Can you please tell me about the timelines and the windows as to when I can apply for it? And what are the timelines like? And they are very responsive. UK universities, I think I can vouch for it. Whichever university you write to, whichever program director you write to, within 3 to 4 days, I've got a reply from all of them. So don't shy away from asking these questions. Just write the mail to them and just say that I'm from so and so, and this is my target, and this is my this. Can you please guide me through it? They will do it, and you can use it in your application. It will also give you clarity. So I think that is one main tip that I would give to all of you. Apart from that, yes, that's the standard application. I think I've covered almost everything. Yeah, I think I'm open to Q&A. Nitish, I think I've covered most of the things, so
Thank
happy to
you.
take on questions.
Thank you so much, Vidisha, for doing this. I know in very short span of time, you have made this presentation, and it's a very informative session. I got a lot of insights. So really, thank you. We will now switch on to Q&A sessions. I have my own questions also, but let's give opportunity to the prospective uh, alumni who are going to be UK alumni sometime. So the floor is open. You can ask your questions in chat and here as well. Chat is actually disabled. Uh, so people can ask live. I see one person. Please go ahead.
Where you can ask the question. I think you raised the hand.
Yeah, I cannot see who raised the hand, but whoever raised the hand can ask the question.
Hi, this is Manohar. Am I audible?
Yes,
Yes,
I can hear
Manohar.
you.
Yeah, I had one doubt regarding based on the intake, like spring or fall intake, does it matter? Because earlier I came to know that sharing scholarship is only for a particular intake. Such constraints are there for this scholarship?
Manohar, what I can say for most courses in UK is that the courses that I had seen had only one intake, and the courses start somewhere in October. So it is September, October starting. So yeah, it is the fall intake, I would say, and it doesn't really matter because it was an annual cycle. Like She Evening Commonwealth was also an annual cycle. For me, like I mentioned the timeline, I applied the scholarship. I remember the applications for the specific course. Like I had shortlisted LSE for social entrepreneurship, UCL for Masters in Prosperity, Innovation and Entrepreneurship, and King's College for another entrepreneurship course. So application for all three universities for these master's courses opened somewhere in November. I remember it was November, and for King's, I think it was last week of October. So the applications for the next academic year had opened during that time. So I had applied by December. I got my results or the admit letter from the university in the next 2-3 months. And for the Commonwealth Scholarship, I had applied in February, March. That was the time. And I got my Commonwealth Scholarship result by July. And when I got the confirmation from Commonwealth, they asked me to submit the admit letter from the university, which was there with me because the university tends to get back to your application within, I think, maximum 8 weeks for UK. So 4 to 8 weeks they would respond back. So I had the confirmation letter and everything from the university that needed to be submitted at the last stage. When you have already got the scholarship, they just ask you if you have got the admit letter and everything. So my experience has only been with these courses which have only one intake which start in October. Uh, I'm not very sure about the dual intake courses.
Thank you, madam. Thank you so much. Any other
Bidisha,
question? Yeah, please.
yes, thank you for your question. Bidisha, I will go. I have one question that when engineering scholarship, I know that person when they come back to India, they have to retain here for approximately 2 years or so. Is this condition applicable to Commonwealth scholarship also?
Nitish, this is applicable to Commonwealth as well. It's the same 2 years you will have to come back to India. However, I'll mention here that I know colleagues, classmates who were there at UCL with me who applied for PhD. So with Commonwealth, there are certain cases where people have gone on to do masters under Commonwealth scholarship, and during their masters they have applied for PhD. So the PhD is happening right after they complete their masters, and that again they get a Commonwealth scholarship for PhD. So I'm not sure about the process, but people have stayed on if they pursue PhD with scholarship. So that is one of the cases that I saw with a couple of people. But then for that, I think you'll have to be prepared because the course starts somewhere in October. And then again, if you want to apply for the next cycle of PhD, if that is your plan, then you'll have to already prepare for it. So I remember one of my classmates had done that. He was there in UCL and then he applied for PhD. He got through PhD. It was a different scholarship, but he got to stay back in UK.
Amazing. Thank you.
I think the presentation was clear enough to clarify all the doubts if nobody has any questions. But I just would like to mention that I'm available on LinkedIn, or LinkedIn would be the best platform. So probably if you want to reach out, you can reach out on LinkedIn and ask me if there are any personal, if you feel there is any question which is too personal to you and you're not very comfortable asking you. Open to help.
Yes, thank you, Bidisha. And I also like to mention that Bidisha has been part of a TEDx. She has been a TEDx speaker also, and has been an alumnus of IIM Lucknow. So if you have those kind of questions and looking for an offbeat career, I would highly recommend to reach out to Bidisha. And she is a supernatural. In our training, we used to say Bidisha has had so many experiences in very limiting time. So kudos to that also, because I have seen like you have explored UK and does studies also. So a lot of things that we can only think Bidisha is capable of doing. So once again, I would like to take this opportunity that uh, it's been a good session, and your experience in very much detail you have told, and more than the slides, the personal the small experiences that you have shared. I think people have got enough insights, and they will be intrigued to apply for the scholarship. And one personal question you have answered for me also. When I was applying for swimming, I also was applying for Commonwealth as well, and I could see the questions were repetitive. And I asked my question, and I asked this question to myself whether I have to keep the same story or I have to bring out new examples. So that question you have answered very nicely in your presentation itself. The story needs to be the same and coherent, and there can be add-ons. So a lot of doubts have been.
Thank you so much, Nitish, and always a pleasure to help people. I know how much it helps people in their career trajectories. My own career trajectory is a very big example of how scholarships help, because it really helped me switch from Navy to Austrade. And I like my previous job. I love Navy as well. And I think Austrade is also great and wouldn't have been possible without Commonwealth. So it's more than just a scholarship or just a master's degree. I think it really helps you evolve as a person. And yes, we have had very good experiences exploring UK as well. It's not just academic. It's fun to explore new places, learn more, grow more, and it kind of widens your horizon. So you think about better things, bigger goals. And I've seen everybody return more ambitious after Chevening or Commonwealth. Like Nitish is one of them, but all of our people sorry, have been doing great things after coming back, because we do get inspired with that kind of a cohort, with everybody who comes through these scholarships.
Thank you, Bidisha. I will now like to invite just our treasurer Mustafa for small vote of thanks, and then we will continue this session. And encourage people to reach out to Bidisha.
Good morning, everyone. First of all, thank you, Lieutenant Commander Bidisha, for the insightful presentation on how to apply for the Commonwealth Scholarship. The key takeaway I took from this was that they also offer a distance learning scholarship. So I think that would be of interest to the other ISRO employees who have joined the session online and are finding it a bit difficult to get the EOL or study leave to leave the job. So there were key nuggets of information throughout the presentation, and I hope people who were listening intently have been able to get something useful out of it. And again, very big thanks for taking out your Saturday morning and joining us. Many people have been actually messaging us and asking if the recorded session will be available, because I think the end semester exams are going to start from Monday onwards. So many students were not able to join. So we will be sure to send the recording across. You can go through it once. And again, a big thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much.
Thank you everyone for joining the session. With this, let's close this meeting, and thank you once again, Bidisha.
Right. Bye, Nitish. Bye, everyone.
Bye.